Hello everybody, welcome to the All-American Otaku Show. Most of the subjects that we've done for this anime channel have been lighthearted, good reviews, talks about the positive aspects of anime, as well as the fun part of anime, live action, what makes this otaku culture great. On this subject, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to talk more about the dark side of anime and the dark side of otaku culture. First, I'm going to talk about one of the more recent aspects of the dark side of anime is the Kyoto arsonist. This otaku fan of the animation studio and anime, he has more of a darker side into him. The fact that he came up with an idea for the Kyoto Animation to put him in one of their anime basic thing, he thought they stole from him. This infuriated him to no end, to the idea that he planned on a mass killing of the people in the Kyoto Animation Studio. This was a dark night probably around afternoon in Japan. Dark night not necessarily in the weather, but as dark night as in the idea of what conspired in this. This guy thought he stole the idea. His jealousy and his inner demons got so strong and so deep that one day he marched right into the anime studio, poured gasoline by the stairs and the exits, lit it on fire, getting himself out just in time to get several burns, killing various different people who were part of the studio just for the fact that he thought in his mind that they stole his idea, stole what was his, stole something that he thought he created, and he wanted recognition for it. This insane man killed a bunch of people with the fire in the worst way possible, either choking on smoke or third-degree burns while your bones are popping, blisters are forming. It is so bad that when people think of hell, they think of being burned alive for eternity. This guy did it on the studio to the people he thought we love and people that we work and look and inspired by their works. He kills the people because he thought they stole his idea. This man eventually was taken into custody, go through court, and eventually put to death by the death penalty in Japan. The second aspect of the dark side of anime is still more grim, even though it's short amount of people. Instead of 35 people getting burned, there was only 4. What makes this more grim is the ages of the victims, from 4 to 8. This came out in the 80s, this guy called the Otaku Killer. First victim he found was this 4-year-old girl. He tricked her into going into his car. He strangled her to death, and then after he was dead, tried to expose the body of where the murder take place. Families hoping, praying that the solution will come back and their little daughter, their little girl will come back to them. Nothing to be seen. This man, he took this one innocent life and dashed all the hopes and dreams. This one innocent life could have been the person who cured cancer, who could have been the person who advocated world peace, but we'll never know because this life was taken by this man. He ended up doing this to 3 other victims ranging from 4 to 8 years old, all across there. Not only did he kill these people, he would taunt their families. You know your daughter's dead now. You know what I did to your daughters. You know what I did this. What this is related to the subject is when they raided his house, they found dozens of anime tapes, dozens of kaiju tapes, dozens of martial arts tapes, dozens of various different anime, manga, and various other things. This put a blight on what the people thought the otaku culture was. They thought we were so shut-ins and so engrossed in the medium that we would go and do these heinous acts that eventually been known as the Otaku Killer. Even though at the time he was known as the Little Girl Killer. They looked and they would bully and beat up people who are into anime cultures and manga things at the time, thinking that they are connected to this monster. They would also harass and destroy someone's life who even resembled this guy. To this day, when people think of otaku, they think of these guys as shut-ins and social inept, and or even remotely close to them becoming this one great monster this guy practically was. The next subject of the dark side of animation, this episode we're going to talk about, is the industry. First off, I'm going to talk about the animators. The animators who create this great medium of ours, who create these great animation, create these great ground of works. The animation studios get the credit, the directors get the credit, and even the voice acting gets the credit. But the animators themselves, who work themselves to the bone, who work insane hours, overtime without pay, all working to try to get to this goal, get paid nothing but peanuts. And then you have some companies, which I will name nameless, goes up to them and exploits them, say, I want to make them to get paid less than the minimum wage, not get paid overtime, and work twice as hard to make these animations even more greater. These animators are broken down, beat up, not necessarily physically, but emotionally, drained, hardly any hours of sleep. Some of them even work themselves to death trying to create these animators, and some of these animation studios have the gall to try to pay them less money than they deserve. I think the animators are what we call the unsung heroes, unsung victims of the anime industry. The next aspect of the dark side of the anime I'm going to talk about is none other than the idea of the anime porn industry, also known as hentai. In itself, porn, hentai, or even ecchi and bikini stuff, it's not necessarily a bad thing, not necessarily a good thing, depending on where you go on the social aspects of life, or what your mind go there, and what religious aspects you go. But here's the thing. Just like porn, it exploits certain people and makes people go and become more vicious or more sexually aggressive to women, or sexually aggressive to men, depending on where you go. But here's the problem with hentai. Since it's animated, they could take certain things even more further. Like there's a lot of rape, there's a lot of girls getting tied up and choked and even beat up while they brutally molest these girls in these hentais. It goes to sci-fi extremes with the tentacles and stuff. So much so when people think you're an anime fan, they automatically assume that, oh, you're an anime fan, so you must be into tentacle porn. They go on the idea, the warped idea that some people might think it's okay to do this, or do this to women, do this to men, or what have you, just because I got so warped in the idea of what this idea of hentai is. And you go take a culture that is so conservative, so uptight, that when it comes to there, it makes these crimes more apparent because it's what they see, they think they can do. Not necessarily, not everyone, I think most people don't, but then there's these one strange things that can dissipate fiction from reality, and they want to try to create their own hentai experience into real life. This goes into the last subject I'm going to talk to you about the dark side of anime, is lolly culture. Lolly culture in itself is not a really bad thing. It's cutesy, it's good fashion, you have a lot of cool characters out of it, and other meaningful aspects of like Tank Girl and so forth. Girl Ants Panzer is another good anime. Features lolly. Lolly itself is not bad, but when the idea people look at lolly and then go to the more sexual aspect by saying, well, this person's a lolly, but they're like overage. They're like 50 or 60 or 100 or something, so it's okay to have these sexual fantasies over lolly. This idea brings the idea of almost a pedophilia as almost an okay aspect to some deranged minds. They will look at the lolly aspects of looking at it sexy and find validations in the more pedophilia style mind aspect of what lolly culture is. Even though lolly culture is supposed to be cute, there's some aspects and we'll look at it more of a a way for a fetish and more of an excuse to go for their more deviant minds. Now, this is enough of this subject. Thank you. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode.
Welcome to the show where anime dreams come alive. Let's go! All-American Otaku to the vibe, diving deep into the anime tide. From the screen to the page, we're turning every stage. All-American Otaku, where worlds collide. From the 90s till now, the passion's been real. Anime and manga, it's how we feel. Conventions and scenes, cooking up dreams. Japanese culture bursting at the seams. On the 90s till now, the passion's been real. Anime and manga, it's how we feel. Conventions and scenes, cooking up dreams. Japanese culture bursting at the seams. All-American Otaku to the vibe, diving deep into the anime tide. From the screen to the page, we're turning every stage. All-American Otaku, where worlds collide. I'm there and Mr. Pat by my side, exploring every genre, let's take that ride. From action to drama, it's all here. Community strong, let's make it clear. Otaku dreams, we're chasing the light, exploring new